let's start our communication public relations committee meeting. Um, we have our minutes from July the 24th, 2023. If anyone has any amendments or corrections or thoughts, hearing none, we'll approve those minutes. Oh, there's no need. We understand. Um, then the number 2 item is the chamber tech uh, update. Um, do you have anything to say on that, Mr. Mitchell, or the clerk?
See, we did get new microphones. The company is going to come back and tweak just to make sure that everything is working in order with the camera and the streaming.
Yes, because I saw lagging.
Yep. And there
I
probably
thought it was me. I said I better lay off of that.
there probably will be some lagging. There almost always is, but I've noticed, and I'm running both of them today. I'm running it off of camera and the new camera. I did that at the last commission meeting, just so we could kind of test it, but still have a good one before we get that one removed. So they're going to make sure everything is good with the new system before we take down the old.
Okay.
Your microphones are adjustable. You can move them to however.
That's what
That was for work for, I think, the lights.
this makes
The electrician
sense.
was in here. That's not mine.
This makes sense to me.
I'm pretty sure that they're coming back.
So yeah, did they give you a timeline as to when they will be here to tweak it?
No, they're going to the main guy that I'm working with had to look at the tech schedule. And this was when I talked to him was last week after our meeting. He's going to get that.
Congratulations.
No. No, Mr. Duncan, no. And please ask for permission, please, to speak. We don't know for sure. There,
Yeah, they're
Yes.
adjustable.
Did you see how I adjusted that? That's
so,
cool.
so, when we first started talking about this, we talked about the cameras and how they were supposed to interact with sound. Is that what we're getting ready to tweak it to
Yes.
do?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that means that whoever's speaking, the camera will direct their
Oh. Why does it look like it's looking at me?
because you're speaking.
And I believe it does 3
Yeah.
commissioners at a
3D.
time. Yep,
Okay.
3 commissioners at a time. So it's not like it comes right to your face. It
No.
just comes in this vicinity.
Yeah. But he gets to see who.
And then when somebody is sitting at the presenter table, that camera will pick them up when they
Right.
start speaking over here.
So that camera's not working too well right there.
It does. Did you?
I looked at YouTube
Did
and
you which one did you watch?
who knows?
Because there is 2. There is 2, and you can see the presenter view.
Yeah, I saw a little piece
it
of
was-
him, but it was.
It was hard to hear. So that's why I wanted to make sure I ran both of them simultaneously.
Yeah.
So that we didn't miss anything. So that's what they want to come back, and they want to make sure that everybody's heard.
I have a question while we're on communications. The last Brownfield Authority reported that it's totally unacceptable. Each member, if we need to, should know how to just push a button and.
I agree. I think there needs to be more than just me that knows how to run this.
I missed the last meeting. Very disappointed.
And I would, yeah, because I
Well,
wasn't here.
Chair of the committee should be able to should know how to do that. It's very simple.
It's very
Yes.
simple.
I agree.
And
Chair
for
or
us to go
co-chair.
without transparency,
Exactly.
it might be not be something we that we're just doing intentionally, but it sure
Yeah.
looks
Suspect.
yeah.
When we don't, because that I'm reminded as to that was one of the things that the emergency manager cut us off from communication, so that we wouldn't know who was doing what and what was going on in different committees and stuff. I just happened to had strength, but with every meeting and showed up with technology, make sure that I kept everybody informed. I mean, Mr. Duncan is absolutely right. That's what's going on with our water. The residents don't trust the water, which is where the lead lines have been replaced. Trust, ability.
So that's what our committee has been striving to do. And so we've had this conversation, Mr. Duncan, about uh, YouTube Live, and that they do have the capacity to take in questions, but we haven't done it yet. And I think that the other commissioners, if there will be questions, there will be comments, and some of the citizens have already figured out if they email the clerk and say, I want this to be that happens, to be spoken out in public. So, and that's going to get more and more as we empower our people with knowledge. So we got to set up a program where wherever the question comes to, if it's to Commissioner Henry or Commissioner Isom, that they get the question and then they take it upon themselves to answer it. Okay. It wasn't, it's not, it needs to be tweaked a little bit.
And there's two different ones running, so make sure that you're on. I have both of them running so that
So there's two channels.
no, there's one channel, but I have them running simultaneously, one from the new cameras and then one from the old camera.
But what do you mean you have to make sure you?
Correct.
So
Now-
there's two stations running. I mean, two
Right.
channels running.
Right now, there are two videos running at the same time.
Oh.
Basically, because I want to see how the new one is working, and so then the company knows what they need to do
Okay.
when they come
'Cause
in.
it's supposed to pick up as she's
Yes,
speaking,
yep.
even if it's showing three or
Right.
two of us.
So we're going to work on that. And I do know that the county does it, and get questions and comments from their constituents, and we have to be more able to do that. So we'll see if we can get some overtime for the clerk, and she can teach the chairs how to do it, and co-chairs for sure. Oh.
Citizens rep.
It,
No,
it's
no,
city.
it's city.
Somebody that can be responsible
So-
though, because if the city can appoint someone board, then surely we can. For
Well,
the
most of
recording.
our committees have a commissioner on it, so
Yeah.
that's the way it's set up.
Yeah.
So if they're co-chair
Yeah.
and a chair, then they should really reach out and I'll kind of
Then
touch
some
them
of
and
us, if
see.
we're not up here, we're usually out there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So Mr. Little isn't joining us this evening?
No.
Number three, the third item is the newsletter update. We'll ask Mr. Mitchell to speak on
Don't have any updates on the newsletter.
that. Are we at a point where we're at no return with the budget? That none of our recommendations or thoughts about it have been, you just said, no, we don't have it, and we can't do it? Is that what you're saying? Because we had a conversation, you and I and the treasurer, and I thought that it was a good conversation, and that we all were under the knowledge that we needed this money for communication, and the money was there, and all we had to do was to allocate it to go towards communication and not towards what it was going towards.
But Madam Chair, don't we have to do
No, we haven't gotten to that because we have to wait for the two staff members to come up with a solution to what we're trying to do here. So are you just saying to me is no? The answer is no, and we're not looking at trying to solve the problem?
We're looking at trying to solve the problem, but right at this time, we don't have a solution.
Do you have a thought on the solution I gave you? You can't be looking
What
in.
was the thought you, again?
Was to take that $50,000 that you got in the budget for the basement to be sealed off and use it for communication. That was my first suggestion. I had 4 or 5 other ones, and I'm sure the financial director has them. But if you have said no, I'm not going to entertain that, and I'm going to look into something else, I need to know that too.
Madam Chair, I just heard you say that what is sealing off the basement? Basement needs to be fixed, and I'm sure it's going to take some money to fix the. Thought the 50,000 was for running and of the paper altogether with of communications to get things out to public, the residents. So
That's what was in our budget that we approved in
did that
June.
consist of fixing the basement though? Because surely, I mean, if it hasn't been utilized, it probably smells like a lot of our basements. Like it's been, you know how something has been closed off for so long, and it needs to be painted and all that.
The basement should be not used. It's been like that for years. But I asked that we reallocate some of that $50,000 to communication, where it's going to be a best bang for our dollar. And I still haven't gotten the answer if that was definitely not on the radar, or is it absolute no? We can't do that, or what? I mean, that's been a long time conversation, and that's one reason why we old commissioners get upset when staff don't answer our questions. Commissioner Isom. I think it got to be. Yeah, I think it was
20 less than Manchester Bidwell a year.
I think it was in the 400. I mean 40,000. I mean 40,000. Yeah. All I know is in the budget is $50,000 for to seal off the basement. That's all the budget lets me know.
To seal it off, though. I mean, with what functions? I mean, there's got to be more than just sealing off the basement.
I don't know. No, nobody knows but the city manager and the financial director.
I would need more than that myself. If I may, Honorable Chair, can we revisit the budget and have something ready and prepared for Chairman Isom when his personnel committee meeting comes back up? Because we just approved another grow facility. Well, we just issued out another license, and we need to be looking at that money instead of other folks with their unions waiting for money to come in so they can snatch it up. But we need to be doing something for the residents of Benton Harbor, and that's what we need to be allocating some new money towards. And not only that, education, and I'm gonna keep on bringing up Manchester Bidwell because these people over here, they need something like that in the heart of the city where they live. They don't have desire. If you see, they stay over here all the time.
Okay.
They don't go out there.
Okay,
out to the
Commission.
college.
All right, Commission.
I'm just saying.
It's so easy to get on our soapbox, but
No,
let's not.
that's
No, because
communication.
we
About funding that you were discussing. Because they could probably learn something about communication as well and helping with the paper.
well, that's where we at, and the questions are on Mr. Mitchell. Did I answer your question, Mr. Commissioner Isom? Mr. Mitchell, can you please enlighten us on where the process is on the newsletter? And if there is a time frame when you will have something done. We've been waiting a long, long time.
Years.
Um, we talked about the newsletter, and I do agree that the newsletter is a good tool to have, no question. But I also told you there was a situation going on that we need to take care of first.
Which one? What is the first things first? Be privy to know what that is. Commissioner
Yeah.
Taylor?
Mitchell. I might not remember what
I
he's talking
did.
about. All I know is I thought we had a
I'm
potential.
sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you.
That's unfair, and we're being recorded. Residents cannot question that was asked. And then they gonna hold me accountable. I'm gonna hear it, and you're not.
Government.
See, that's what I mean. Sometimes it work for us, and sometimes it don't.
That's not democracy, that's government.
But maybe we ought to jump on Trump bandwagon.
Okay. So, I guess I'm at a standstill here with the newsletter and the importance of the newsletter. So,
We kick it down.
What-
Kick the can down the road to your next meeting.
I was just gonna ask the clerk,
Okay.
would she add this to the next month's meeting
Add it to personnel and
and-
finances.
and maybe we'll have You you want it through your committee?
$46,800.
A month? A year? Oh,
So that is for bi-weekly publication,
oh, that was what?
delivered to every
46,800.
household in the city.
So why did you confuse that with 50,000 just to seal a basement?
Cause that's where the money is.
Oh, okay. Understood. That should be a
You want that to
no-brainer.
your committee, Commissioner Ison?
Yes.
It's a perfect conversation in
Yes.
personnel and finance.
Yep. Can we do that with a consensus, Madam Chair?
Beg your pardon? Okay, Madam Clerk.
I had the discussions. We need action in Ben Harbor.
Okay. His meeting.
Okay.
Third.
So looking at this, it shouldn't take 3 hours. Mr. Little isn't here to discuss or give us what we need from these. Ain't nothing funny, all you got to laugh out of you that time, huh?
Okay, all right, well, let's go to item number 4, the broadband. There is a little, Mr. Little gave us a little document on what's going on with the broadband. And they're working on it.
Are you on number 3 or are you on? Oh, wait a minute. You say they're working on it.
It says there
Okay.
is no specific timetable, but we're looking for funding.
We've approved some funding.
Of course we have. That's for the administrators.
But there's still questions that need to be asked and answered about that. And through the chair, if I may, I'd like to know, when will we hear from Nokia? You don't just sign an agreement of a disclosure without somebody that you plan on doing business with or partnering with to at some point come forth and have a conversation to let us know what your plans are. Is that how that works?
That seems like it's a likely thing that it will happen.
But it needs to be happening before decisions are made. Because we could be shaking our head or rubber stamping anything that's on paper. I mean,
You won't be rubber stamping.
no,
anything.
because we
We'll-
need to be asking questions.
We'll bring it to you.
To ask questions, not to
Ask
see
questions.
anything.
To ask questions, you have to see it to ask, know what to ask questions.
No, we used to people coming before us, Mr. Mitchell. Coming before us and
You
presenting what they
will-
want to do business with us for.
You will get a presentation
Okay,
on it.
okay, from them.
Yes.
Okay, from the actual partners.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That was simple. I'm not trying to be difficult. I hope
They
so.
don't have a date yet.
Or
They're
somebody
working on
moving
it.
behind the scenes and
They're working on it. And in the same breath, in this report is a report on Justice 40. And the organization that connected to,
and
I guess they're connected to,
I think I need to disclose something.
no, we need to figure out about this Justice 40.
Okay, well, the Justice 40 initiative is not a program, but right here, I think that Mr. Shoemaker and the city of Benton Harbor, along with another organization, is putting together a program. But overall, it's an initiative for the whole United States for these billions of dollars for these communities to find some things that they know will work in their respective communities and put together a program to bring them to fruition so that the government can fund them with some of these billions of dollars that the Bidenomics administration have put together. And not only that, Mr. Shoemaker and Mr. Little Nim, Benton Harbor was chosen along with another organization that I happen to be affiliated with, and I must disclose that because it's a conflict of interest, and I'll have other board members to take care of that. There are going to be other nonprofits as well that will be coming on board, as I've been mentioning to you guys for years now, even before Mr. Mitchell came up. Myself and some other large organizations across the country have been getting together and have been demanding that the White House, that the government stop sending money through government, not getting stuff done for the communities that need it the most, but in fact, give it to grassroots organizations that are actually doing the work. And now it's about to happen. Big in government and folks that think that they in power for stuff. Make it happen on our own.
Okay, so I have a whole different perspective about Justice 40. Leave that to my personal friends and my Heavenly Father. So,
But make sure
It's a
there's
good thing, though.
presentation. So that everyone-
It's a good thing, though.
well, you know, I always have to put my perspective, and I'm going to put it in. When you go to a group of people that have been historically a no do, no help group of people, and when the money come in, all of a sudden these people say, "Oh, we know how to fix it for you." And when I see that and we have no input, it's the same old scenario. What is
And
it?
the roaches come out.
This is what we want to do for you. This is what you need. This is not necessarily what you need, but it's what we feel you need. And when I see the money being generated towards administrative and no one else there to give them guidance as to what we really need, then I have a problem. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but it surely looks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, and it's probably a duck. All right, that's all. I'll say my little tidbit on that. We're gonna wait and ask staff when staff be able to present it to us, and hopefully we'll have time to digest it, vote one way or the other. In through committee meetings, these are what we used to call meat and potato meetings. The citizens would come here and get fed information about what was going on in their city. And that's what we're going back to.
Well,
To
leave mad
empower
because
our-
they didn't get any.
Oh, no, they didn't. It wasn't like that back in the day. The citizens realized how powerful they were. And they worked together. And they made 9 individuals up here, and every staff member hear their cry. So we're trying to build a new group of people that's not going to be afraid, and they know their rights. And we're going to give them information about all the opportunities that are coming to Little Benton Harbor right now. So, thanks anyone for listening to communication. We'll see you. Oh, one thing. Is there anyone that want to make a comment? Ask a question? Anything?
There's two streams running right now. Two streams running right now. Right? With the new camera system and then with the old one. Because the company is going to come do some tweaks. So I want to make sure that I'm running the new system so they can see what they need to do, but still run the old one so that we can catch everything. Yes.
Think communication and is the chair, yes.
It looks like some type of metal.
Blew off in the storm
But when was that?
last Sunday.
So-
There's a process, folks, that things have to go through.
Yeah, yeah.
It has to be reported to the insurance company. We have to wait until the insurance company. It's not just taking care. It's not just taken care of. They have to see it and they have to evaluate it.
And we just take pictures. But my question would be,
That's already been done.
doesn't Harbor Shores help to take care of those?
No, was the answer.
You told Mr. Duncan.
No, I was talking to you because I had just shook my
She was
head
talking to you.
and I know nobody.
Bathroom has, the roof blew off in the storm. We reported it to the insurance company. The insurance company has to come out and investigate. See it as it is before we do anything. They've been out yet.
They've been using it.
They've been using
They
it.
were using it when I was out. But still, it could be hazardous if a child just happens to be playing and some
Is
of
it
this
roped
stuff,
off?
It looks like a metal.
Can we rope it off and keep it safe for any kids or animals or whatever running through the Gene Clark Park? I just thought when it failed that would be the first thing we do is make it secure for.
Exactly.
We don't
thing-
have to touch
The
it.
tarp
First
is
thing
not.
we have to do is leave it for the investigation.
Can we rope it off so no one could be at the possibility of
pedestrians.
liability?
Yeah.
I mean,
if caution
if it's the
tape-
same, if it's the same way that I saw it, it needs to be roped off, caution, all sorts of
And
things.
some coins.
Cones, yeah, just so people can't do nothing.
So if somebody's child does, we've covered ourselves by having tape and cones. And if that child runs over there and say they, well, as you can see, hazardous tape, cones that are up, waiting on the insurance. We're liable. Then we have to do cones and tape. Free Mr. Rabbit. For now. One cone. I bet that's the cone out there by the front of it, on at the entrance. Extra
Have-
cold.
We have to leave it until the insurance company does its investigation. I don't know if they have.
Okay, we should begin at the
I
weekend.
will,
You
I
check and
will,
see.
I will check on it. I will have it checked on it tomorrow. Give you all a
One more.
Can we get paid? I was reading something. I was
He had his number 2 question.
You should have asked the city manager. You've had since Friday to talk to me. So you gonna wait until today? What he's saying is he was out pulling grass, and I told him to hold on. I told the staff to tell him to stop. Suppose, just suppose, he hurt himself while he's doing that. Reaching over the rail, pulling the grass
oh, the
out,
grass.
out in the front. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, Mr. Ravis, I've also gotten a report of you out on Riverview Road, on Riverview at 9:30 at night, pulling grass. Suppose you got hit by a car. Sure you may. Cutting, no, cutting, cutting. Right down here, right. That is correct. So you waited until today instead of coming on up and asking me why. My number one concern is this city. And the, my number one concern is this city and the liability that falls on this city when something happens. Okay? And and if you get hurt in any way doing something, you're not gonna say poor Ben Harbor. You're gonna go for the Augusta. If you want to talk to me, come to my office and talk. You've had these concerns before about endangering yourself. It's not a matter of fear. Accidents happen. We do. Now you need to stop right there. There are many hazardous hazardous conditions, but they are being attended to. We can't do them all at one time. I don't even know the one you're talking about. So you come in here on Wednesday with these things that have been happening, and I have told you if you got something, let me know. My office is right here, and I'm here every day, night, weekends. To answer all your concerns, I live right over here.
Well, there is another reason. Every time I hear something going on in the city, any dialogue, it always comes back to communication or public relations. So there's another reason why we need our newsletter, or we can have conversation and set up a place. Because back in the day, the citizens knew who to call to say the sidewalk is buckled, and then they got the information to the right person, the engineers, because we know when March brings the sidewalks, they're in a specific area, and sometimes it doesn't include the neighborhood. So we got to set up a communication so the citizens have a way or know who to contact to say, I got a problem. And I know the city manager does that. They call his office and give him that information. But the fact is, when I hear citizens say, I've been over here and I've called and I've been here and have no response, that let me know that maybe there is a little problem there. Yeah. So that's another reason why we need communication and public relations. And if there's no more question, Mr. Duncan?
In the 23 years that I've been back, in 24 years that I've been back in Ben Harbor, I wish that I could find out of 9,000 some more folks in Ben Harbor, 99 more to do what this man does. Volunteering to bend over to pick up anything that looks out of place. But we do have to be careful.
All right, all right, all right. Let's lead.
don't know everything.
Mr. Duncan, do you have your last comment? No, I'm listening. Okay, we're gonna find a way for the citizens to get those reports because we're not in the neighborhoods all the time, but you are. So you see it. So we're gonna find a way to communicate that.
Together.
Yeah. And no, we're not.
No, not at all. Look, I've had somebody
No,
to
we're
come
not.
at me and like you didn't return my call, and it's not a good feeling. In your meeting,
If I said Mr. Duncan was the last to speak, unless Commissioner Isom want to say something.
hasn't closed.
You or nothing to say, then the meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.